One of the great things that I love about retro gaming is there are so many of them, and I really want to find something, a game that usually not recommended by many, and find this game is just a game that blows my mind away. And one of those games is Terranigma. With all of the games that I play so far, by the way, many of them I not even share on my channel, although I'm playing them, I started playing Terranigma today for the second time. And the funny thing is that even if you ask, for example, AI about what is the most underrated SNES game or the most underrated retro game of all time, this is what I got my first answer. Of course, it may vary, but as you can see here, as different AIs and all of them mention Terranigma as either the most underrated game for the SNES or the most underrated retro game in general of all time. Now, I don't usually go and play action RPG game again. It really needs to be an amazing game for me to actually want to get back, especially such a relatively short time until since I finished it. But today I did just that. I actually slotted in and decided I'm going to spend a few hours today to play it, and hopefully in the upcoming weeks I'm going to finish it again. I know there are many things that I missed in this game, but there's so many things that I wanted to re-experience. Now you see, this game was never released in North America. This is one of the reasons not many people even know about this game. And in many regions you're going to find that it's not in English, and I actually need to buy it from Australia in order to play the English version, and not just that, buy a PAL SNES version in order to be able to play it. Of course, it wasn't that expensive, so it's not really a big deal, but after seeing a bit of gameplay and reading so much about this game, I decided, well, it's actually worth buying a console just for this game. This is also one of the games that I got from Australia. Actually, it didn't work, so I needed to clean it, and once I cleaned it, it actually worked. So there are so many things about the game that I like. One of them is the music. The music is incredible. This is like an equivalent to like a Clear Obscure Expedition 33, not a retro game, modern game, or an original soundtrack. This is the same. Really, I just think about this game releasing back then with such music. I think it's going to be equivalent more or less to what actually they achieved here. The problem they couldn't achieve that such a great of success because you just couldn't get to the US market to become more popular. I think this is why they created kind of cult classic around them, because they're not well known, but those who know this game are absolutely nuts about it. And of course, if you kind of got the snippet before that, it was actually overshadowed by bigger RPGs like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Secret of Mana, and others. So this is why there's so many reasons why the game just became less known, and some people even discovering just these days, they're just searching for something else to play and then they come across it. It has a quite surprisingly mature storytelling, and also they have very emotional character moments in this game. Seriously, unexpected. I usually don't easily get emotional in games, but here I actually was. There's also option here like a sim game to revive cities, expand them, and merchant and other characters and NPC appear there, and there's some related quests and an intercontinental quest, which is a very unique type of thing, especially for a game back in the days. For example, you can just take a photo of something in one place and then show it to another NPC on a completely other place. Once you unlock and expand the city and there's an NPC you can share it with. The pixel art is stunning. There's some things here in this game I just couldn't believe how detailed and beautiful it is. It has amazing boss fights in this game, and some hidden techniques when it comes to combat depth. So many characters are so memorable here. This is quite fascinating. This is something that you usually kind of run through, and maybe one or two. Here there are many of them, so even the side characters here actually matter and you're going to remember them. Even when it comes to the ending of the game, of course I'm not going to spoil it here, it's one of the strongest one that I experienced, and from start to finish you have this feeling of adventure and discovery, and this is something that I really love when I start getting into a game. For example, when I play Elden Ring, I remember the beginning when I open the gate and I see the world, and you have this perspective of the big world, and you're going there for a big adventure. Same here. The cutscene ends the cutscene with the music again. The whole presentation of the game is so unique. So when I play a game like that, again, although it's genre that I'm already familiar with and there are some things that are similar in other games, it felt a unique experience. Now there's also magic in this game, although it takes kind of sightseeing in this game, but still exists. The dungeons themselves feel unique. They don't feel repetitive. It is actually a really big map, so there's so many places you can actually explore door. It feels like kind of like an open world game, but it's not something that is so massive that kind of bores you or anything like that, just the right amount. So I remember when I finished the game, I really felt that I just completed something truly epic. Also in terms of RPG mechanics, there's quite depth here. For example, there are different status effects that can happen, like poison, confusion, although confusion is a bit too much to be honest, paralysis and others. The game has stunning levels, you get some beautiful vistas, and you're gonna fight some of the bosses in beautiful vistas. It's absolutely stunning, really, just a joy to play. Some areas with kind of a weather effect, and not everything is kind of a, you know, bright and happy. There are some dark areas there, and of course everything with stunning music that follows it, and you feel the tension. And although there are many amazing things like powerful cities and merchants you can buy things from, coins that you get, you can buy weapons, and there's so much really cool stuff to do and discover. You can unlock a boat and also an airplane, so you can find easily kind of move between continents and places, although you can unlock their airplane later on. Characters are amazing, the animations are amazing, just super cute. Well, there are some scary ones, but for example this one playing on the guitar, just look at that, dancing, crazily cute. So the reason I posted is first of all because I'm replaying it, and second, I just want that, you know, this game just won't go unnoticed. So maybe each year I'm gonna post something about it just as a reminder for others to at least check out this game. There's so much content here to experience, and you can spend so much time if you really, especially if you're a completionist, because there are so many things to unlock. This is why I'm getting back, because I know I missed so many things and I want to discover more things that I actually missed. The game also includes funny mini games, you know, so many things. I mean, I just can talk like even for about an hour about this game. I mean, I need to go back and remember everything, but there's so many things that this game offers, and considering, you know, when this game is released and what it offers, it's just mind-blowing how insane the game is. Oh wait, I just use a superlative, but really this is not even an exaggeration. But one recommendation for you: play this game when you have good enough of free time. Don't rush it, otherwise, you know, people sometimes get, you know, upset because they can't really finish it fast. No, this game needs time. Some games needs time. You need to be in a relaxed state of mind. You need to give yourself the time to actually absorb it and allow you to enjoy yourself without rushing things. And if you do, you're gonna discover this is one of the best classic action RPG games ever made. And it's just a sad story that the game was actually, when the game was finished in mid-1995 in Japan, in 1996 in PAL regions, the US market had already moved on to the PlayStation and Sega Saturn era, and actually publishers just were pulling back investment for new SNES RPGs. And aside from that, NX also had much weaker North American presence than in Japan or Europe, and this is why they were kind of selective and cautious about localization costs. And especially if you consider that this game is text heavy, philosophically complex, and had a large script for SNES standards. And I think that when they kind of saw the US sales projection for late SNES RPGs, they just maybe consider it just too risky. And if you consider Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, and other emerging PlayStation RPGs, well, you can get the reason why they decided not to do it. And the reason Europe actually got it is because Nintendo and NX still supported PAL SNES releases longer than in the US, where the SNES lifecycle ended earlier. So don't miss this game, at least check it out.